Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Jamar 84 here once again. What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar 84 here once again, and we're here to talk about the latest episode that came on, that just went off actually as I'm recording this review of Love and Hip Hop episode 7, I believe this is. This and next week are going to be some good ass episode, because honestly, Love and Hip Hop was getting a little dry. It had a little, ups and downs. There was a whole, are you fucking my man? I absolutely am. And, that kind of picked it up a little bit, but it was getting a little dry. But this week, shit was going off. And I secretly kind of got my life a little bit more than I usually do. And from next week's preview, I'm about to be even more hype. But anyway, we're going to get into this episode. So this episode, honestly, was centered around Benzino's new girlfriend, Althea, or as we going to call her from now on, Hothea. Because as Erica stated later on, that we find out this bitch been loving the goddamn crew. So let's get into it. They're at Sleazy. I can call this man Sleazy. Stevie and Benzino are at the setup of their new restaurant and things. And I have a question. I feel like they literally just came up with the idea 2 weeks ago. Do they already have the layout and everything and the distributors, the sponsors, all that stuff to already be able to open it next week? Like, they was looking at the place and they tried to do a grand opening by that weekend. It just seemed like everything was rushed, or at least the editing. Maybe there was a greater time span. I don't know. But it just looked like they thought about it and opened it within the next week or two. I'm like, well, honestly, if you got it like that, shit. Anyway, moving right along, we figure out that Althea smashed Nico in, well, I guess 10 years ago, however old she is, when she was 16 or whatnot. And I'm like, well, initially when I first heard it, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't like Nico, and I don't even know this bitch, so this tea means nothing to me, at least not yet. Kirk and Rashida are at the doctor's office. And Kirk is trying to say, oh, I don't know if right now you should be going on this vacation financially, this, that, and the fourth. And Rashida was like, well, if I couldn't do it financially, I wouldn't go. And he's like, well, what about Cardi? You just gonna leave your son? I'm like, Kirk, why are you acting like Rashida is a single parent living on Section 8? You're here, you're an able-bodied adult, and you've been handling him very well. I'm sure Rashida's not going to be gone so much so that you just can't handle it. And like she said also, you have her mother to help you do with whatever it is that you need to do. And even if you want to take a step further than that, you have 5 other kids. Somebody should be able-bodied enough, hopefully mentally stable enough, of your own children to take care of the little brother. So don't come at me like Rashida is the sole caretaker of this child. However, we get on to the whole kiss in the mouth thing. We figured out, I mean, pretty much everybody did kind of agree that that could be seen as a hazardous situation, but we just didn't like Kirk, so I didn't really. Just because it came out of Kirk's mouth, just made it sound like bullshit. But okay, we let him at that one. And then the next scene is actually probably like, it was a Debbie Downer in a ratchet. You can't have a moment of ratchetness and then follow it up with something so serious like one of Deb's sons. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I couldn't catch it from. It was the KO, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but he ended up committing suicide because of, I guess when, his brother Waka and his mom started getting more and more into the industry and became faces of the public eye, they became under, you know, various forms of scrutiny. And you know how the internet gangsters, especially in the age of Twitter and Instagram, people in the blogs, everything is like really out there now. So it don't take much for you to find something like that about yourself if you're a public figure. And I guess he was always defending them, and they were saying all types of crazy things about him, like being adopted or all this crazy ass shit. And I'm just like, people grow an extra set of balls when they're behind the keyboard. Now, I'm not going to even sit here and be like a saint. Like, I've never done it myself. But it's just like, over the past couple years, it just seems pointless. I don't even see a point in it anymore. It's like, why? I mean, I may take a joke here or two, but I would never say something so malicious directly to somebody just to hurt them. No. That ain't what this life is about. But Waka Flocka they were talking all in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, the living room, and she said Waka doesn't deal with death very well, and so he kind of left the room, and it was just a really sad moment. It was very unfortunate. But after that scene, they're at this show with Jocka and who is that? Young Jock. And Carly says, "Oh, she's here to support Young Jock, but and he says that he's no longer dealing with that Miss Piggy bitch. What was her name? Kadia? I think that was her name. And so they're gonna try to move forward or whatever. I'm just like, Carly, this man has cheated on you a number of times with the bitch, brought the bitch in your face. The bitch admitted to you and told you what was up herself. And then Jocka followed after and confirmed what he was doing. What is there to work out? For real. What is there to work out? After that, it's just like, when somebody shows that they just have no respect for your ass too much at all, ain't nothing too much for me to work out. I'm done working out. But that's just me. That's the point where I'm at in my life. You show me who you are, I'm going to believe you. Shout out to Maya Angelou, R.I.P. I never talked about that. I meant to talk about that in the Watch the Post, but... So Kirk is apparently friends with Benzino, I guess. And he was like, you know... Not Benzino, child. Jock. And he's like, I don't see how Carly Red and Jock get together. Because, you know, Jock has, like, a lot of businesses. And he be taking care of a lot of business. So I'm like, Kirk, you know what? Kirk could say some profound and deep-ass shit. And my ears and brain will interpret it as, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know? It don't even matter what he say. It just sounds like some bullshit. And... he was right. He wasn't lying. He was talking about business as opposed to other hoes. I mean, he was taking body shots of other bitches. And anyway. So, Kirk says to Red, or Carly Red, that he has a new boo. And, you know, of course, just like any other girl, she's like, oh, well, I bet she ain't better than me. I'm the baddest bitch. You can't get nothing better than this and all that other stuff. And she found out he was having an event where she's like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to support and I'm going to see who this new boo is. I'm like, Carly, girl, go restock on your anti-aging cream, honey, because you just doing the most. And did you see the way her ass looked in that dress? It looked kind of disproportionate. It wasn't as bad as K. Michelle's, because K. Michelle is just out there. It's just, you know, she has the back and it's just out. And then it comes back around. K. Michelle's is out there. Carly's is kind of... it looks almost like it's boxed. You know what? I'm not even... it looks like a box, bitch. Damn. Had to get it out. Anyways, Mama D wants a scooter. But more importantly, Scrappy is talking about how he doesn't like, how he's not really feeling Bambi no more. She whines too much. And he pretty much had to finally, after 3 seasons, well, 2.5 seasons, he finally said to Mama D, get your ass out my business. I bet you can't stay out my business or something like that. And, you know, of course Mama D tried to oblige, but y'all know damn. If Mama D actually obliged that, she might as well be written out the rest of the script. She ain't got nothing else to do. So, moving right along. Hold on, let me look at my notes. Carly Red is talking to Erica at this gathering of Benzino and I almost called him Sleazy again. Stevie J's bar, grill, whatever this thing's supposed to be. Club, whatever. And she says she likes small dicks. Now, you know what? This poses an interesting question that I really want y'all to answer. Is it the size of the ship or the motion in the ocean? And you know what? I used to believe that it was the size of the ship, and for some people it still is. But I've heard people say, those who have big dicks, I'm hearing more people complain about the pain that they cause. I've heard people say that people who have had big dicks don't know how to use them. And people who have had considered smaller dicks or average sized dicks work them better. It's just all around better sex. So I want to know, what do you think? Is it for you personally watching this video, you right here, you, is it the size of the ship or the motion in the ocean? Leave it below. I want to know. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting and slightly shady. Slightly shady, but okay. They meet up with Carly Red and Althea in this little gathering or whatever. And we're not even going to waste no time on that small talk shit. Althea says, so I heard that you missed the dick. Carly Red said, oh, I don't miss shit. Who told you that? And, you know, that whole thing about Kirk and I guess her saying that she wanted to support him and how she was laughing and all the other stuff. Now, that, you did kind of allude that you kind of missed him. I mean, you did say you kind of missed him, but I don't know if you said you missed the dick, though. So, Kirk did kind of take that a little bit out of context, so they called Kirk over to the situation, and he was just like, hey, I thought you said you missed the dick. That's why I said Kirk ain't shit. But long story short, let's see. They start throwing drinks and shit. She throws a drink at Carly. From my eyes, she completely missed. Like, completely. Like, she didn't aim far enough. It just fell right below. Because Carly didn't look wet by any means to me. But Carly got dicked her ass right in the damn face. And was smiling and shit. And, you know, this is that whole scene when Benzino was like, get that bitch out my club, get this bitch out my club. And here go Erica getting all feisty and pumped up again. Who you calling a bitch? Who you calling a bitch? Now, I did get kind of confused. I'm like, are you saying who you calling a bitch because she called Carly Red a bitch? Are you defending her? Or did editing make it seem like did Benzino call Erica a bitch and we just didn't see it? Because I was kind of confused as to why she was like, who you calling a bitch? I'm like, he was calling Carly Red a bitch. Like, what's the confusion? And she throws her drinks at Erica. And, of course, you know, Erica gets all about it then. You know, I like to see Erica get rowdy, honestly. It's kind of funny. I don't think she's ever, like, physically gotten to a fist fight, or at least it's been so long that I can't remember. I don't think they didn't fight Mama D. She usually just talks a lot and throws shit and likes to get all insecurity and pretending like she all doing this. Kind of like how Erica Pinkett got into that fight with that table when when security was grabbing her, she was throwing everything off that table, but she wasn't throwing shit towards Bambi. But that's neither here nor there. Carly Red shouting out, you ain't shit. Wait till Jock hear about this. This ain't over. And don't nobody want to be at this ghetto-ass function. I'm like, but miss, you're being carried out of this ghetto-ass function. That means you were willing to attend this ghetto-ass function. So, what the fuck are you saying? Like, for real. Anywho, moving right along. Scrappy and Bambi, they get together at this restaurant in front of her friends, which was awkward. And she was trying to talk about, or he was saying that, I heard you got into an altercation with with Erica, and my mom was there, and this, that, and the fourth. And he was like, I thought that was concluded or whatever. Somebody used the word concluded, and she was like, bitch, I concluded it when I put my fist in her fucking face. I was like, shit. I thought it was over too, because look, Bambi, she did nail that bitch in the dome. She did. As far as I was concerned, I thought that it was concluded right then, because Erica couldn't do shit else, and she didn't. Therefore, after, but he's talking about, he think that she whined too much and all this other stuff, and she was just like, you know what? Fuck it. You and your mama doing the fucking most. I got this bitch trying to come at me and shit, and now I gotta whoop her ass, and I ain't about all this shit. And so he's just like, you know what? You can leave. Don't ever come back, and this, that, and the fourth. So they broke up. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Then we get to the celebration that Dawn is trying to throw for Mimi and Nico. She introduced them as the most beautiful couple, a power couple, and the adult entertainment couple. Okay, let's break that down. First it said the most beautiful couple. Well, that's opted out, seeing as Nico's face is arranged the way that it is. So that opts that out. Power couple. Has anyone seen any services from Mimi's maid service? Do they have any other main income other than Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Has Nico produced a hit ever? What power are you referring to here? I'm confused. And the adult entertainment couple. Listen, I'd rather watch Ray J and Kim Kardashian than watch Mimi and Nico in that shower ride. At least I can look at Kim and get something. Okay? Mimi and her dark void of a pussy, and Nico and his whole body. Well, actually, I try to give at least Nico's torso area some credit, but that mug is just distracting as fuck. And it just throws everything out of whack. I can't deal with it. No matter what. He got the most banging ass, chest, back, legs. It don't matter. It's just that face. Oh well. It is what it is. And so we figure out that Zeno and Althea was supposed to go to that little gathering with Mimi and Dawn and Nico and blah, blah, blah. And he apparently has a problem with Nico. I mean, obviously because, Stevie J is his best friend and him and Nico got into it multiple times. I thought that did they have something personal going on? Or did I just miss that? And I guess he was mad also that the fact that he smashed his current girlfriend. But I'm just like, I mean, in her defense, it was kind of like 15 years ago in high school. So, I ain't gonna throw a hissy fit like that for real, for real. That's just if it was me. But he decides not to go, and he's just like, fuck it. I'm just like, but you did just kind of have her well, I guess she didn't know that Carly Red was coming, but you did just have a dealing with your ex that she had to deal with. Like, why you can't just go to a party? Like, whatever. So we learned from Nico, who's in a conversation with Nico, Mimi, Dawn, and Erica, that Althea has fucked Stevie J. And I'm just like, well, that's fucked up. That's kind of nasty, but really fucked up. And it's just like, see, Jocelyn was right. You got to keep an eye on that bitch. It's like not even that she wanted to fuck him; she's already fucked him. And apparently, from what Mimi, the little story that Mimi said, this ain't nothing new. She took her daughter over there to see her daddy. It took forever. The lights were all out. It took forever for him to come to the door. He was half naked, and he saw that bitch on the couch half naked. And her daughter referred to that bitch by first name, so that means that she's seen him before, or seen her before. Jocelyn is gonna whoop that bitch ass at some point in this season. Probably whoop Stevie J's ass in the process, like she did on that elevator at the end of season 2. But anyways, I'm just like, well, and she's still in contact with Nico, and Mimi's like, oh really, bitch? All the couples breaking up. Ain't nobody together. Jocelyn and Stevie fucking up. Brandy and Scrappy over with. Mama D still ain't got no man. Well, Waka Flocka and Tammy are good, I guess. Well, as good as they're gonna get in comparison to everybody else. Shit. So we move right along because I guess I don't want the video to be too long. Carly Red and Jocelyn meet up for lunch and whatnot. And Red talks about how the interaction that she had with Kadia, and of course Jocelyn ate that shit up. So now Jocelyn starts getting in her head, I haven't looked in Stevie J's phone in a while. And she was just like, okay, I don't trust him, I don't do this, I don't that. And I'm just thinking to myself, if you're a woman and you this enthusiastic about not trusting your man, why are you with him? What kind of relationship, especially a marriage, can you truly have with somebody that you don't trust? What's the point? Truly, like, for real. There's really no purpose in being in a relationship that you don't trust nobody. Because you're going to be sitting up there always looking, dodging, who is this? Whose number is this? Who is this calling you? Where you going? Ain't nobody got time for all that. You might as well just stay single. Trust me, I know. And Carly Red put an interesting theory in a plot that, look, I definitely would have thought about that. That was an interesting way to know. She said, I purposely left my iPhone in Jock's car and then used the Find My iPhone app to find where my iPhone was, which tells me where his car was going. I was like, I like that idea. That's some good shit. I will give you credit for that one, bitch. I never would have thought about that. So, we end the episode, well, we don't end it, but towards the end of the episode, you know, Deb went on the radio to talk about her new movement of no RIP, no reckless internet posting, and she was on the radio discussing it and promoting it. And I think that's definitely worthwhile cause, because there are a lot of people who do suffer from internet bullying, who end up committing suicide, and it's all from people that you don't even see. You don't even have to be physically abused no more to be to feel like you're being bullied. It's no longer just taking their lunch money and pushing you against the lockers nowadays. If you have any kind of social media account, people can get to you, and it's just, I don't know. I guess you, because it's not going to go away. Social media is not going to go away, at least not for a very long time. So you kind of just have to develop a thick layer of skin and kind of know who you are for yourself and not let anybody else try to tell you who you are. Otherwise, they will get inside your head and drive you crazy, and ain't nobody got the time. So I definitely support Big Deb and her cause for reckless internet posting. And we end the episode with Jocelyn and Stevie J talking about, you know, Stevie J wants to talk about the marriage. And Jocelyn's like, No, bitch. I found vaginas, titties, asses, all up in your phone. And you know, Stevie J gave the classic rule of a classic red flag. She was like, unlock your phone. He was like, oh, okay. What you mean? She unlocked it. She was like, let me see. She was like, You see this? All business. All business. She wouldn't let, if you really ain't got nothing to hide, just be like, here you go. Granted, it's not healthy to be looking through each other's phones, but still, if you really had nothing to hide, honestly, why not just give the phone? Why you gotta be holding, monitoring, and showing him what you see? He ain't shit. But then again, she knew that he wasn't shit, so she can't really be surprised. But that's my review for this episode, y'all. Next week, looks like it's gonna be good. It's a whole lot going on next week, so next week's review is gonna be fun. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and comment on all the videos, share it on whichever social media platforms account that you own, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.